Perfect Time Machine Transport. The ice rink, like a slush tub right now. Anyways, so see garbage can right there? Right there? Yeah, you get it, Baja. Go real fast through the parking lot. Real fast. Oh, shit, his back axle is locked up. Yeah, don't make fun of my cracked windshield. I'll get it replaced one of these days. Anyways, you go through a lot of windshields in trucking, man. It seems, I mean, almost, I wouldn't say immediately, but soon after I get a windshield replaced, it literally gets cracked like a month later or within that time frame. It's crazy. But now, being that I haven't had the windshield replaced, now it's like I actually a sand or a gravel truck did hit when the weather was really bad. I caught a couple rocks in my windshield, which actually made the cracks even worse. But anyways, that's not what the video's about. I'm going to start saying, if you guys don't know the definition of CURT, K-E-R-C-U-R-T, you should look it up. There's a movie, what is it, Pulp Fiction, when Harvey Keitel, is it Harvey Keitel? He's the wolf. My brother Stevie K calls me the wolf. What's up, brother? I'm tired today, man. It's like somebody stole on me, man. Eyes all swollen. Anyways, but in that part when he's talking to John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson, he's like, if I'm Kurt, it's something or whatever. So anyways, my name's spelled K-U-R-T. So I think I'm going to be calling stuff like this being Kurt, C-U-R-T, with Kurt, K-U-R-T. So that garbage can over there. So I went over to the truck stop, got some coffee this morning, and I was watching the guy change that bag because I put a couple little bags of garbage in there. It was overfull. I mean, it's been overfull for a couple days now. So I'm finally leaving again on Monday, hopefully, from Owens Corning. Broker's taking care of us, so I'm all right with that. But I've been looking for another load just to run over the weekend, man. I'm not putting that heavy ass shit on our equipment and tarping and everything for 60-70 cents a mile. I'm not doing it. I'd rather sit here and burn through some fuel, man. And my truck doesn't suck a whole hell of a lot of fuel anyway, so when it's idling. So that guy over there, the maintenance guy or whatever for Jubit's truck stop, he made a shave. He pulled out 3 gallons of piss. 3 1-gallon jugs, almost completely full of piss. Now mine's around somewhere. When you're in a truck, you pee in a bottle. I mean, that's part of the nature. I mean, that's or not the nature, is part of the business. You pee in bottles. It happens. Don't toss them in the freaking garbage can, man. That shit irks me, man. That's being Kurt with Kurt, right? I mean, and then when I was over in Spokane, Washington, there's a truck parked right next to the curb where it says no parking. But when you come in late, I mean, you gotta park sometimes. So that's not the issue. The guy pulls away. Now I don't know if it was that truck or maybe it was sitting there when he pulled up. But there's another garbage can, like maybe 60 feet away, 70 feet away. And when I saw the guy pull out in the morning when I was going in the shower, or the shower, there was a gallon of piss sitting right on the curb. And a garbage can's like 50, maybe 70 feet by the absolute very longest. It might have been 70 feet. And you can't take your collection of piss to the garbage can. I mean, and you really shouldn't be dumping full bottles of piss in the garbage can anyways. You need to empty it in an appropriate place, not in the middle of the parking lot, on a hot summer day. You need to literally be emptying them out, and you really should save them. I mean, that's the reason. I mean, I literally go out shit tons of water. My wife can put a comment in the, hi baby girl, I love you. My wife can put a comment in the comment section. I take my gallon jugs, take them home, fill them, and then I bring them back in the truck. Because we have so much plastic floating around. And I'm not trying to be a do-gooder. I'm not trying to be a liberal and this and that. But I mean, we are ruining our planet. There's no doubt about that. As I drive a big-ass semi down the road, right? However, if you can help a little bit, and if everybody does that, or even half the population, I think you might see results. So I take my pee bottles, I empty them out, rinse them out daily, and then I save them. I mean, I got one big pee bottle. I mean, I don't know if it's TMI, but that kind of shit just irks me, man. It's being curt. And not the K-U-R-T curt, the C-U-R-T curt. And I think the definition is like being brief, or like being curt is like being brief or short with your answer or your explanation, something like that. I was just looking at what that guy's got in his catwalk. So that not only irks me, it's just disgusting. I mean, and you could just see the guy pulling them out, and because I was brushing my teeth. I got my braces on, some of my Invisalign braces, so that's probably why I talk funny.
Just sorry out there on eastbound. They still requiring chains or what?
Yeah, that's another thing. When I pulled up out of Owens Corning yesterday, or actually on my way there was chatter on the CB. That's another thing. I got to bring up my CB. And the guy said that they were calling for chain up law going east on I-84 towards Idaho. So I probably, even if I did get loaded yesterday, I would have I would have shut down somewhere and waited until they lifted the chain requirement. It's not that important, man. It's not that, it's not that pressing to chain up. I mean, I'm loading roofing shingles. It's not like it's human parts or organs, right? Unless you're on the black market and you got to get them over there because you're taking somebody's kidney and livers, whatever, hearts, you feel me. So, and my CB, so I remember got my very first CB. Man, I was so excited. I was like, yeah, I'm a big boy trucker. Now I'm going to be making a CB handle, which, by the way, my CB handle is Boogeyman, and not like this boogie, not like mocos. Booger in Spanish is mocos. Anyways, I'm the boogeyman, not the booger man. So I was so happy, man, getting a CB. Man, I'm a big boy trucker. Shit, you'd be surprised the amount of people that don't talk on the CB. There's certain areas around the country that actually you get a lot of CB chatter, but as far as like actual constant, every state to state or every trip you're out, you're gonna have constant CB. And I really, I mean, when you're bumping music or listening to social media, YouTube or whatever the case. I don't do TikTok and X and all that shit, but I do listen to a lot of YouTube and I listen to a lot of music. And then there's days I literally don't listen to anything. I just drive silent. I look out the windshield and I call them windshield reflections, right? So yeah, so that, I was so stoked to get a CB. I mean, I got the little extra, increase on the wattage so I could get better reception and reach out for. Nah, it was a waste. So, but it is not. You should, if you're a truck driver, if you don't have a CB, that irks me. Every driver should have a CB, man. Every driver should have a CB. And you should drive with it on. I mean, I drive with mine on every day. Well, Jason Gilbert, don't say every, or no, always and never. So I drive, when I'm on the road, when I'm in this truck, I have my CB on when I'm driving. If I'm sleeping, I shut it off. I don't leave it on. Because guys and gals want to talk. Well, not gals so much. Gals are smart. Guys are, but they don't, guys just want to talk bullshit on a CB. So, when I saw that maintenance guy pulling 3 jugs of piss out of there, I'm like, I got to do a video on that, man, because you see like jugs of piss everywhere, man, and it's like it's not even, it's not even necessary, man. So that just irks me. Another thing that irks me is when you see people wear their chains outside their shit, right? Like I got my chains outside. I hate that, man. I hate that. I absolutely hate that. Especially if you're wearing a tie or a sweater and you got chains hanging out. Who cares? Who cares what kind of chain you got, man? Who cares? Who cares? So stop that, man. That's childish. Look what I got. Look what I got. Man, shut up. But the absolute main well, when I saw the piss, I'm like, I got to do a video on that because it like I said, it's just disgusting. It's not that, it's not that serious. It's very serious because it makes all truck drivers, and yes, it makes all truck drivers look bad. It does. And that's why, like truck stops are putting less and less garbage cans out. Walmart doesn't let truck drivers park in their lots anymore, or a good majority of them. People just don't want semi-drivers in their area because they're pigs. They're fucking pigs. Yes. And make your bunk, right? And I don't just make my bunk when I'm doing videos. There's I want to say he was an admiral. He might still be an admiral, or he is a retired admiral now, but he was a Navy SEAL. And they had him as a guest speaker at this big graduation, this college graduation. I think it might have been his alma mater, I think. Anyways, but he talked about making your bed. And thanks to my wife, she got me into the ever since I've been in a truck, I've made my bunk 99.5% of the time. There are times I've woke up late and that's another thing I got to tell you about this guy that's in our shop, and that was actually the main reason why I want to do this video. But anyways, he's doing so. Ever since I've been in a truck, I have made my bunk. I keep a clean house. I don't walk into the house with my shoes on. I take my shoes off right by the driver's seat because of all the nasty shit that's out in the parking lot. So I don't walk in the house with my shoes on, man. I just don't. But this admiral, I don't know, I forget his name, but it was a really powerful speech about making your bed. And he talks about, being a Navy SEAL and being successful as a person and all this other stuff. And he says it all starts with making your bed. And my wife and I, we make our bed every day at home. If I'm up after her, I make the bed. If she's up after me, which is hardly ever, so when I'm home, I like to sleep in. Then she'll make the bed, or we'll make it together, or whatever the case is. But we make our bed, and some people might say, oh, you know what? It's just a bed. I mean, I'm going to sleep in it later, so why make it? That doesn't compute with me, man. If you're thinking that, then you're wired completely different than a responsible, clean person is. And it doesn't mean because you make your bed or you don't make your bed you're irresponsible. I'm just saying, if it's so nice to crawl into an already made bed. At least that's my opinion, right? I mean, and if you don't, I don't know. You really should want to crawl into a made, clean bed. I mean, or a nice, clean car, or a clean shop. You guys look at my shop; it's clean, minus the guys that are in there now. They're a little dirty or whatever. But that's what I chose to do. So, but yeah. So if you make your bed, that's like the beginning of your day or the end of your, whatever the case is, right? And it might seem so mundane, like, oh, it's a bed. Who cares? Well, then why do you do your laundry, right? I mean, right? Why? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just going to get dirty again. Why do you wash your dishes? Well, it's just going to get dirty again. Why take out the trash? It's just going to get full again, right? So it made a lot of sense when I heard this guy's speech. You probably see it on YouTube, like Admiral College speech, make bed, or something like that. And I'm sure it will probably come up. I saw it years ago. So then I started thinking, when I was an inpatient at the VA, yeah, I'll get to my story one of these days. I had a PTSD breakdown, blah, 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 from the military. But it's a pretty wild situation. And some people are actually I don't know about most people, but there's enough people on this channel that know my situation. So I'm very blessed. But anyways, when I was in inpatient, and I don't know if when I explained it to people, they're like, oh yeah, I do the same thing. So these little things here. So actually, I'll back up. So when I went in the truck stop and I'm still in Portland over at Jubbits, I think it is, to get some coffee, take care of business, whatever. And I heard this truck driver talking. At least I assume he's a truck driver. He looked like a truck driver, acted like a truck driver. That's another thing. Truck drivers, when you look at a truck driver, semi-driver, professional freight hauler, or professional freight relocator, whatever you want to call yourself, right? They just look so miserable, man. And I've had some videos that I've gone back and looked at my own videos and been like, man, I look so just either sad or tired, or the majority of semi-drivers in all my years that I've encountered are just negative, cancerous, unhappy, unkempt people. And it's a very stressful job. It really is. And some of these people, they don't have family and friends, and they isolate themselves in a truck. So I do feel bad for a lot of drivers that I see like that. I'm not making fun, but this driver's like, he was bitching about the broker tracking his load or whatever, and that's just part of technology. That's just part of the industry now. Like, brokers want to keep in touch, and like I said a couple of videos ago, we keep in constant communication. And when we dropped off that load in Sumner, I sent my wife screenshots of the email from the broker. So they're like, man, great communication. We'll definitely work with you again. Yada. And yeah, I'm patting myself on the back. I'm very proud of the company that and not like it's a huge company, not like it's, but we keep our equipment clean. We got a shop. I'm very proud of what, we've done with Time Machines. So, anyways, this driver's talking about, oh, fucking broker this and fucking broker that, and they want to track me, all this other stuff. So he's standing in line talking to another driver, and I'm a couple people behind. So then when he gets up to the register, he asked for his receipt, and it was like for coffee and some whatever sodas or whatever he had. And he's like, yeah, he said, I got this, and I have the same thing on my phone, and so does my wife. This Fetch app. It's a receipt app. So if you get your receipt, you take a picture, you earn points, blah blah blah. And it's not free, right? I mean, yeah, it's free, but it's not free. They're not. If somebody tells you that, oh, it's free, then we're the product that's being sold. We're the product. It's not free. We're the product that's being sold. Trust me. Because they're going to sell your info, they're going to do this, and I've had, ever since I uploaded that app, man, I have gotten a shit ton of telemarketer calls, junk email, this, yada, yada, yada. But I chose to do it, right? So this guy's like, yeah, I got this app on my phone where they give me points for the receipt and all this other stuff. And I'm saying to myself, dude, you're bitching about a broker tracking you, but you don't think that app is tracking you all around the country? It just really didn't make sense to me. Maybe he doesn't realize that, but truck drivers know everything. They're doctors and lawyers and mechanics and electricians and workout specialists and food critics, and they're everything. They're everything because you can't tell a truck driver shit. Anyways, so this right here was really after, because when I got coffee this morning, they were out of the regular cold creamer, so I like my coffee very strong, sweet, and creamy, right? That's why I married my wife. So, anyways, this right here, when I was an inpatient, they didn't have regular cold milk, they just had the coffee creamers. And you see how that's peeled back right there? Well, you get the ones that are completely flat like that, and you go to grab it, and it's like you can't pull it off. It's like some are very easy to pull off, and others are not. I found myself, and I've done this for years, if they don't have cold creamer, then I'll use those processed ones or whatever. And I would find myself going to peel back the top, and if it was difficult, I would just throw it back in the bin. I would put that problem on somebody else. Not that it's a problem, like a big problem. So I've started noticing myself one day when I was an inpatient at the VA. And not like I'm some kind of mental case or whatever. I had a meltdown. Anyways, I go to do it, and I go to throw it back, and I'm like, I've done this for years, just throwing the creamer back into the bin, and that's somebody else's problem. It's not my problem anymore. Again, not a big deal, right? Until you think about it logically. I've done that for years, and I'm putting my problem onto somebody else. I'm putting something that's so like that to me is like, oh, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing with that shit, right? But if you think about it logically, that little thing, that little lip, if that thing is glued and you're trying to pull that thing off, right, and it doesn't come off, you give up. You give up. You give up because you don't want to invest the time to peel that back, right? And you don't want to wait. You don't want to get rid of that one that's a hassle. So now you're letting the next person deal with that hassle, right? And some people might say, dude, Kurt, it's just creamer, right? It's just Kurt. It's just creamer. Kurt, it's just creamer. It's very true. It is just creamer. However, if you give up on something so simple, and I have to tell, and I do these videos not only for people to be bored and listen to my shit, or to a lot of times so I can go back and look at it and be like, I remember when I said that, and I have to remind myself to stick on that path, right? I have to stay on that correct path. So I do these videos, to help people. The majority, this kind of probably is not a helpful video, or maybe it is, but I do it so I can remind myself of the shit I spew out of my mouth, so I can be held accountable, right? And when you're sitting in this truck, since Tuesday night, and it's now Friday, and I'm looking for something. I've been looking for loads ever since yesterday when they told me they're not loading today. I know I'm going to be here till Monday, so I'm trying to look for another load that I can just kind of run out and do, something while I'm sitting here. But there's nothing, like I said. So I guess when you sit in this cubicle, right, you get a little, I wouldn't say stir crazy, but you start, thinking a lot, right? Windshield reflections. That's what I say when I go down the road. It's windshield reflections. I actually should get t-shirts made up that say windshield reflection, right? Or I'm Kurt with Kurt or whatever. So, anyway, so at the inpatient, I sat back at at one of the eating tables, and I was watching the coffee thing, right? I'm thinking that maybe I'm the only person that does this, right? But no. I noticed so many other people doing the exact same thing I was doing. They would grab a difficult one and they would try to peel it for like 2 seconds and they would throw it back. Or they would throw it in the garbage. They would throw that in the garbage. And I'm like, damn. And I was amazed at the amount of people that did the same thing that I did. And then I started thinking, I'm like, man, Kurt, if you are giving up that easy, that is so easy to give up on, right? And it's not like, yeah, you're not just throwing away. Why would you throw away a perfectly good creamer, right? It's not because you're trying to save the next person. It's that you're trying to get that out of your way to grab the easiest ones, right? So are we constantly looking for the easiest thing no matter what? Like I said a couple of videos ago, when you come to that point in the road and there's a barricade there and you look beyond that barricade and you say, oh man, this is too difficult, man. You're going to turn around and you're going to go the easy way, right? And you're going to do that for the rest of your life. The rest of your life, you're going to turn around when things get a little bit too difficult. And that's what I found myself doing was, and like, again, it's just creamer, right? But if you look at it, it's the principle. It's so easy to spend the extra 5 seconds, because I've done it ever since then. I've stayed with the difficult one, and I've peeled that back, and I stay with it instead of tossing it back in the bin, giving that problem to somebody else, or throwing it away. So if you give up on something so easy as a simple creamer, what else are you going to give up on? Either easy or difficult. So just ask yourself a question like that, right? And another thing that irks me, it's shit here. Cracked windshields for sure. But this dude next to me rolls in yesterday, late afternoon, still light out, and don't make fun of my cracked windshields. Actually, I went through an inspection with the windshields like this, not this bad. They just had a little, and the DOT cop said it was fine as long as it doesn't obstruct the driver's view. It's okay. I learned something new that day. So, like I said, I'm probably going to get them done when I get home. So the guy next to me, he, because you can see I don't have my curtains drawn here, but I have them drawn right there, right? And the driver just comes out, stands on his board, on his running board, next to his door, and he literally stared right in my truck, like, and I'm like, what the So it's like if you're living next door to your neighbor, like you have a really, really close house, and the neighbor's sitting there with their drape open looking into your bedroom. It's like, dude, how creepy is that, right? So I was like, I'm gonna close up my curtains. So and I, like I like having sunlight come in or whatever the case is. But that's like a etiquette thing. Like that's like trucking 101. As you can, this guy, he's up further, so staring into his truck and he's not staring into my truck. Not that I'm some kind of weirdo or shy or anything like that. Like, oh, I gotta be I sleep with my curtains open a lot. Here I'm not, because these knuckleheads keep driving through the parking lot with their damn lights on, which goes right inside the truck. But I'm like, damn, dude, and he could have, because this truck next to me, when I just busted out, they could have stopped just like this one is right here. They could have stopped where I am, so then I'm not, what I'm saying, they're not looking at my ears. That irks me, man. That irks me. Little shit like that irks me. And it's like, you weirdo, why are you staring at my truck? Maybe he was staring at my cracked windshields, but I don't think so. It's like we almost made eye contact. You know what I'm saying? Like Meet the Fockers, right? So it was like it's like we were making eye contact. I'm like, dude, this is getting a little weird, man. So it's just weird. I don't know. So that shit irks me. So anyways, think about the creamer today, guys. Think about the creamer every day. And I'm not not being, ridiculous when I say. Oh, so yeah, so another reason why this came up was because the people we were at the shop do great people, but we had rules already set out. Hey, listen, you got to. I'm a very clean person, believe it or not. And and things do get away on you. You know what I'm saying? Like my headache rack, or my truck once in a while. Like when I get home, I just literally pull my shit out. I jump in the POV and I'm home. Like I don't even. I wait till before I leave to clean the truck. Anyway, so I get a text this morning. Or actually, I get a call first, and then I get a text. Hey, Kurt, I lost. I misplaced my key. Now this guy's got enough tree cutting trucks. So he's got 3-4 employees or whatever. Great guy. However, we went over and not like I don't say rules, but hey, listen, if you're going to use our shop, it's got to be clean. And they pay us well to be in there for the few months they're going to be in there. And the reason why they are is because they have hydraulics on their trucks, bucket trucks and stuff. And being out in the elements, especially with all this weather that we've had recently, the hydraulics just don't heat up that well or get warmed up enough. So he keeps the heat in there pretty good, and they pay the utilities now, and they pay us a nice monthly amount. So, that shop costs us about $2,000 a month. So, anyways, hey, Kurt, I lost the keys when we were remodeling my house, blah, blah, blah. Now, so then I'm kind of like irritated because when I first gave him the copy of the keys, I told him, I said, hey, listen, make sure you give copies to your guys. I'm giving you a set of keys, make copies. Now, this guy's got all kinds of money, blah, blah, blah. And so then one day, my parts guy, he leaves parts underneath this blue barrel that we have sitting outside the shop. And I go to get the part, and I see a set of keys laying underneath the blue barrel. And they're for the shop. I'm like, dude, that's like somebody who leaves their front door key underneath the doormat. If a burglar's coming in Burlington, Wisconsin, safe. It's a low crime. But I don't care. Oh, damn, someone tore that dude's truck up. Oh, shit. Man, damn it, I wish I could have got that. Well, I'm not going to waste a wish on that, but it'd been nice if I would have showed you guys dude's truck is tore up. So anyways, I'm like, dude, it's safe, but we have locks on our shit for a reason, you know what I'm saying? And then also our big green snap-on box, and we got a lot of money in tools, man. I can't even $50,000 easily on all the tools and shit in the shop with the toolbox and the welder and this and the that and the impacts and lifts and just shit like that. Not lifts, but jacks and shit, stands, all that shit, right? So I tell him, I say, hey, listen, we put the key here for the drawer to lock the toolbox, and it needs to go back in there. So not only do I see the keys underneath the barrel, because burglars are stupid, they're not going to look right underneath the barrel that's right next to the store. They're not going to look underneath there because they're fucking smart, right? So I was a little irritated about that, and then the back door was unlocked, like totally unlocked. The key, the toolbox is not locked, and the key is sitting right on top of the damn lock, and the shop is not clean. So then when he texts me about his fucking key, I said, dude, come on, bro. I'm like, that's just crazy, man. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not that guy. I'm a very lax dude when it comes to shit. And I had already seen all this before I left this last trip out. But I was like, I don't want to be that guy, But then when you text me this morning and then call me and tell me that you lost your keys, now my father-in-law's got to go and get, give him his keys so he can go. Dude, I had 15 guys and 3 trucks when I was doing construction. And my guys knew out of the 15, 13 of them were younger guys like this guy has. And it's like, dude, set your standard immediately, man. And try not to veer from that, because when you start to veer, things are going to continue to go down that road, right? So I kind of snapped off on him. And I was like, listen, man, this, and this, and I'm not trying to be that dude. He goes, man, I'm so sorry, I make mistakes. Or he said, I make mistakes, I'm not perfect. And I said, dude, I fuck up all the time. All the time I fuck up. I'm not that guy, I'm not perfect. But dude, own up to your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you mess up today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, own up, man. Be a fucking man. Own up, right? You drop gallons of piss in that garbage can, and somebody's like, "Oh, you nasty." Own up and say, "Dude, I did that." No, you're not going to do that, right? You're not going to do that. But the point is think about the creamer when you are stressed out, when you're not doing whatever, this and that. Say, what else have I given up on that's been so easy? So, anyways, that's Kurt being Kurt. So, the things that irk me, because I got nothing better to do until Monday, because I ain't taking a load and figure out to do a video, right? God bless you. I hope this video finds you well. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Ciao.